Hey you guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel, and I am here going to be making a discussion video that's sort of in correlation with a rant. As you guys can see, I got my ranting glasses on. um, and this was a video that I thought about making for, well, only a little bit actually, because it was something that I never really expected to make a video on till recently. But I figured that it would only make sense to talk about this considering that Breaking Benjamin was once a band that meant a lot to me. As a matter of fact, there was a point in my life where they would be the only band that I would listen to, and boy, is that nowhere near the case now, because I don't even think I've listened to a single Breaking Benjamin song all year so far. I know that might blow the minds of some of you, but hey, look, I'm still here. I survived, because there's better music out there, but I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, I'm here going to be talking about Keith Wallen's solo project as well, because he is one of the current guitar players for Breaking Benjamin, for those who don't know who Keith Wallen is. And I knew for a while that he was going to be doing solo stuff, but it was never something that really sparked my interest all that much. When I first heard it, I was like, that's pretty cool. Keith Wallen never really struck me as the type to, sing. So I think that's pretty cool, I guess. And you want to know one of the other things that I thought? Honest to God, this was one of the first things that I thought of when I saw that Keith was doing solo stuff. And it's that, is this just a way to keep the Breaking Benjamin fans occupied just until the next Breaking Benjamin album releases? Because that's what I take this as. And I don't know why there's people already saying that Keith Wallen's solo stuff is already the best music of the year so far. Really? Out of everything else that's released this year, Keith Wallen wins Best Music of 2019 award so far. If you think like this, then I think there's a lack of maturity going on with you. Because 2019 is looking like a great year for metal. And, I see this year as an opportunity for a lot of rockers to get into metal and move on from this edgy rock music that was dated years ago. There's been a lot of great metal releases out so far. And it's a great year for metal. And I think that's one of the reasons why there's people already saying that Keith Wallen's solo stuff is already the best music of the year, solely because it's the only modern rock related thing this year so far. So therefore, it just must be the best. Because we all know modern rock is just so much more superior than metal. I mean, yeah, who doesn't like simplistic riffs and edgy lyrics and edgy vocals? Who needs complex riffs? Who needs really long songs, right? None of that takes talent. Wow. Just wow. I mean, what do I even need to say about some of these mainstream edgy rock communities people? Now, when I first heard Keith Wallen, because I did hear some of his solo stuff, when I first listened to some of his stuff, I gotta be honest, he doesn't have that bad of a voice. Now, his vocals aren't really my style, but I think he is a good singer. He doesn't have that bad of a voice. But it's nothing that's worth losing your mind over. And the music itself is nothing to write home about either, given that it feels kind of lifeless in a way. But Keith Wallen's solo stuff is kind of passable. It's something that it's not too bad, actually. But I think the thing that really makes me mad about this the most is the fans. How the fans think that, there's, anything that any of the members of Breaking Benjamin touch is automatically amazing. Because, they worship the ground that this band walks on. And, I never really understood what Breaking Benjamin had that other bands don't. That's something I never really understood. But, back in the day, back when I was in ninth grade, I could have understood it a little bit. But once again, we're not in the days where edgy modern rock was in its prime anymore, as if it was still 2010 or 2011. You know? We're not in those days anymore. Now, I understand that nostalgia can play a factor too. But there's some people that live based on nostalgia. Like, there's some people that won't get into a new band simply because they haven't been a fan of them for a long time. As if, like, it's too late. Like, you're already set with all the bands you're into for the rest of your life. And you won't give any other bands a try simply because you haven't been a fan of them since you were a teenager. So they just can't be good, right? It's a stupid mindset to have. I mean, Breaking Benjamin seems like one of those bands that have this captivating fan base. Like, anyone who becomes a fan of Breaking Benjamin holds them high above every other band. I had this comment one time that said that someone moved on from metal and Breaking Benjamin because Breaking Benjamin saved them from that metal trash, so to speak. There's something going on here. That's like saying, I'm not getting older, I'm just getting younger. That's like saying, oh, I grew out of Megadeth and moved on to the Wiggles. That's basically the same thing. That's the way I see it. Because Breaking Benjamin is a band that was for the emo kids back in the day. You know, that's like, and just modern rock in general, that style of music is not something that I listen to anymore. Now, if you're someone who's still in high school and, you know, still mostly listens to that stuff, that's acceptable. Because, you know, I understand, you know, that whole deal, you know, but if you're post-college and still hold modern rock high above all, then that's pretty inexcusable. You know, when I reached college, I was already into metalcore. And, you know, as far as my musical taste goes, I don't listen to modern rock anymore, at least not as much as I used to. If I do, it's bands like Red and Sevendust. But, you know, I think a lot of people really need to move past this modern rock that people think is still relevant. Now, does a band have to be relevant in order to listen to it? No, of course not. I mean, I listened to Rush, and they released their last album years ago now. But there's also a time and a place for everything. And I felt like modern rock really had its time and its place, I guess. But yeah, Keith Wallen's solo stuff, it's not too bad. I'd say it's passable. I can't rant on that specifically too much as I can the fans. I mean, to say that his solo stuff is already the best music of the year is awfully outrageous, especially compared to everything else that's released this year so far. You know, I don't understand these people, you know, because, like I said, modern rock, this edgy rock music was for the emo kids back in the day. This is for the kids that, you know, go around attention-seeking, telling people how emo they are. You know, this was the type of people to go around telling people they'll never survive unless they're in a relationship. And if that were the case, I would have been gone 3 years ago. But of course, we all know that that's just rockers talking dumb. So yeah, moral of the story, I just think that, like, there's a time and a place for everything, and there's a lot of people that won't go out and explore different bands and won't go heavier than a certain degree. Like, oh, if it's heavier than Breaking Benjamin, if it's heavier than Sevendust, it's nope, keep that away from me. Yeah, what was that about growing up? It just had to be. But yeah, that's all I really got for you for this video. And as far as Keith Wallen, he's not bad, but his solo stuff's nothing that I'm going to get into. And no, it's not best music of the year. Let's be honest. Now, if you still listen to modern rock and some other things as well, like you balance some styles of music, I see no problem with that. Because like I said, I still like the band Red. They're still probably my favorite modern rock band. But there's some people that I know that I just don't know how they do it, because when I go back and listen to some of these modern rock bands, I honestly get bored. I do, because like I said, the riffs are simplistic and everything else that goes along with it. But that's just my take on it. I want to know what you guys think. I know this video is probably not going to get a whole lot of love. I am expecting it. But I hope you understand where I'm coming from, and actually take this video and understand where I'm coming from as well. And hopefully this video can help some people, I guess, have some maturity in their musical journey. Because sometimes there's a barrier in some people's journeys in music. So I hope this video helps with those people as well. But with that said, thanks for watching, have a nice day, and take care.